Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to MOC membership, and today we will talk about the conditions on board, how they have changed, let's say, through the lifetime from 2000s, let's say, basically from 2025. And we will make also an analysis. Does this really improve, let's say, the conditions and how the things changed, how the things are transformed? I have a coffee with me. I have also my book, Follow Me Everywhere, the Good Washing Masterclass course, which has a tremendous, let's say, connection with the product and looking deep inside. If you are still, let's say, transferring on it, and it will continue, yes, to work out, because some of you, yes, probably will deal with the crude oil. Probably you do not like to deal with crude oil. Maybe you would like, let's say, green energy. That's also fine. And I also really believe, let's say, in the transition, in the green transition, that it can for sure improve the life of communities, making them more, let's say, sustainable, making them more looking to the future. Okay, what you say about the crude oil, we don't care. Yes, this is also acceptable. Yes, it is fine. But if you're still dealing, this book will show how you're able to do it in the most sustainable way. Okay, looking from the view of spending less energy, less emissions, reduce all the things to minimum. Because yes, transferring something without knowing the product, without how to handle it, is worse than at least doing something. Okay, and yes, I truly believe in that. That if you're doing something, at least you know how to control, to minimize the impact of, let's say, that you're carrying. It is the same thing, like let's say to have a car, a fossil fuel car with benzene or diesel, and you do not maintain it. So basically, the emissions of the car are increasing, 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 and you do not take any actions. Similar to this, you have losses, you have a lot of, let's say, things that it's not known, and then basically the pollution of the sea increases without reason because simply you don't know how to handle. Also, in the terminal side, also on the vessel side as well. So, as we are progressing, as the things are flying by so far, as the technology advances, the focus is being lost. Okay, the focus of what exactly we have to do. And it's seen, despite, let's say, so many, let's say, technological advancements, so many, let's say, data centers, AI, and all the things, still we lack as humans to implement the basics. And this is our main problem. By failing the application of the basics, we fail also to implement the next stages of, let's say, of new digitalization era, of the transformation era. And I have seen that things from the first hand in the huge these organizations. They like simple things, very, very simple to resolve, but nobody takes an action. And the reason why nobody takes the action because there is no basically interest to do so. Because in order to do something, in order to bring something greater, you have to have interest and motivation. Without these two things, there is no development. So what I have done, I have searched what is the differences between seafaring in 2000s and seafaring in, let's say, 2025? What has changed? For sure, a lot of advancements you will hear, about, okay, we have created a, let's say, much safer environment. The vessels are new. We have, let's say, internet and all the things. But the reality, it is complete different. It is the part of the story that I always say. And also, for the people that are new in this industry, they are not knowing anything about of how the things are working. So if you are jump on this channel, you probably will see how, let's say, the Greek owners are operating. You will see how the different countries are operating, and you are able to compare them and make your decisions. Because throwing you, let's say, in a environment which does not create you motivation, does not create your future development, and only wants to drive you in one direction, that is not fair. Okay, let's be clear. And the communities that I also propose to you, it is the communities that are really care for you as personality. I really care to fulfill your goals. I really care to give you the motivation. I really care to give you the knowledge in order you to progress. And with this way, your communities became strong, not by manipulating, but in clear and transparent manner and way. Most of the companies, I'm talking, let's say, in the Greek side, are not transparent. Okay, they would like you just to drag you in order to work for them as much as longer without any development. And also, nowadays it happen also in, let's say, in North European, because there's a lot of mixed of different nations coming in play, and we have seen that some of the nations are more, let's say, occupying the positions. So it is a shift on the mindset, because some of the nations never had this kind of, let's say, behavior and also uh, wealth allocation. So they became really crazy about the positions just to hold the position. So basically, it is all about money. And yes, they will do whatever it's possible. They will put people in the positions with the similar, let's say, nation. So they will promote one nation over the other. So we have seen that happening also in the biggest oil majors as well, internal in the companies. In other, let's say, and they promote, yes, mostly themselves. They will not tell you it is, let's say, directly the things, but they will do it silently, slowly, with the tools that they have, let's say, using and leveraging, yes, their position of management, and they will promote other people over the other. Okay, slowly, steady, but this will happen. And yes, through my time, let's say, on board, also in the offices and all the things, I was never thinking about, let's say, to capture a position or grab a position, let's say, and stay there for 10, 15 years. I really don't care about that. The thing that I really care about is the development, the personal development, and also with the company that I'm working, I will, let's say, provide some of my expertise for that specific time. I'm not saying that, okay, I'm full to the blood, let's say, one of the team, or full to the blood of, let's say, other team. No, this is not really a true representative and motivational thing as well to have for, because this does not bring a real clarity to yourself as well. So you are basically will be in somehow change on a different way that is not represent really yourself. So let's see if the stream is going on. Yes, the stream is going on. Okay. But yes, I have seen that. I have seen that we have a huge, yes, differences with others as well, because yes, they're thinking only the politics inside. They're thinking about how to build the wealth over the others, but they're really, really, really careful to do the things. So they will not be angry about you. They will not be, let's say, exposing the strategy, but they have strategy for everything. So that's why you see more and over people are leaving the cooperative world, because simply they're not able to keep under control all the things. Let's say the things from view of fair development, the things about as well fair payment as well, depends on what you're bringing. Okay, because it is not possible to compare each and every person and treat equally, okay? For the reason why, because we are not bringing the same amount of value, and also we are not the same. Okay, we're not the same for sure, everybody. Because I will give you an example. You have a chief engineer here, which makes whatever is possible to keep the vessel, let's say, in good condition. Okay, he's fighting for the vessel, keeping in good condition. He's doing more things to improve the vessel. So he advanced the vessel and the company itself, because it is highly connected with the shareholder price. He motivates his crew. Okay, let's say these three things, and you have a chief engineer. I will give, for example, it can be also manager or something, which does not keep the vessel in good condition. Let's say he create bad condition because simply he's not capable, let's say, to keep the work properly. He does not create any advance for the vessel, so the works are accumulated, accumulation of works, okay, and the motivation, lack of motivation, let's say. Okay, and most of the companies what would like to treat these people equally. Okay, so it is we are going against the laws, and because we have became too much, let's say, soft, and internally also in the organizations, we are listening too much, let's say, blah blah, and all the things and all the story, but we don't see the real picture. Not us, the directors, okay, they do not like to see the real picture of what is happening. Because yes, some people, yes, are really good to blah blah, and you have seen also in our country here in the politics and all the things. Yesterday I saw a really great post from one person, um, that he really told that how it's possible the politics to appear every time, let's say, on the panels and speaking for hours, let's say hours, and the real job that they have to do, they are not doing the real job. And this is also how it's happening in the companies. Okay, so it is a way of manipulation. Okay, it is a way of manipulation, and that's why you see that the companies are really dropping their efficiency. So the potential and the efficiency and the development is higher than it is at the moment, doing the work much easier, much, let's say, motivated, much happier. But you see all the things that are internally happening and they reduce the efficiency. That's why I'm not able to find seafarers at all. This is the reason also for this of the companies, because they leverage. Okay, there's a manager sitting here. Okay, it can be, let's say, crew manager. Okay, crew manager, and you have, let's say, this captain or chief engineer, which says about your crew members that they are not, let's say, good for this and this reason. But this is something personal that has this captain with this, let's say, third engineer or chief engineer. Okay. So who you believe that the crew manager will listen? He will listen, captain. Captain will stay, let's say, here. He will stay, he will keep, yes, because this position also it's a high, let's say, hierarchy, for example, yes. And the rest, the chief engineer and the third engineer, yes, will go. So you have already two people lost it, because maybe you are able, let's say, to find somebody, or with all the things that are happening, you say, okay, I will find somebody because captain telling me the truth, and these people here are gone. Okay, so they will never come back again, most probably. And this is started from just one person. It can be anyone, okay? It can be anyone. It can be also chief engineer, it can be another manager, it can be also your colleague in your office that you're working, let's say. Okay. And the most important thing is that the crew manager or the manager was not able to search what is the thing that he's telling. So he trustly believed that the things that our captain saying or whatever person is saying is true. And this is happening across the organizations. Okay. Moreover, if the captain, let's say for example, is a non-traditional orientation, or maybe he's, let's say, from another nation, they will listen him more. Okay. So nowadays, basically, if you are, let's say, non-traditional orientation, if you are, let's say, also uh, colored, you have more leverage than all others. Okay. And what's happening now? You keep this person there. He's happy. Okay. But no one's want to work with this person. Okay. No one wants to work. So what is the decisions that you are taking then? Do you, let's say, through that person also to, let's say, the market, and you're looking for another one? So there's continued problems also in the management as well, because they are never looking and listening each and every individual what they have to say. They are not making investigation. So the management here are taking easy solutions internally in the company. So what is this easy solutions? They will see somebody which is standby, let's say, standby, or maybe the management itself, they know somebody internally in the company, knowledge somebody, and what they will do, they will replace this person, or they will replace these persons that are missing here. So probably, yes, the manager will call the standby people and will say, okay, let's say, Mike, you have to go for that vessel, and we have to do it immediately because one of our, let's say, chief engineers or third engineers is went off, or maybe they will ill. I don't know what story they will tell you. And the similar thing, it can be, let's say, here in the companies, let's say oil majors and all the things, they know somebody and they say, oh, okay, we have a new place for you there. Will you go that? It's very easy. You can cover it and we will do fine. The salary is a little bit bigger. We will give you a bonus as well. And yes, you will cover, let's say, the position of the captain or whatsoever. Okay. That's all. But one thing that you don't know is that the level of these people that you have thrown, it can be efficient, much more efficient than the one you have set in the new positions. So what happened next? It is war, low performance, low performance, low performance in all the stages, okay? Also maintenance, motivational, with all the things. And it goes a cycle because the cycle never ends. It is working the same way. And I have seen it also in the shipping, yes. I have seen it in the Greek companies. I have seen it also in the oil majors. But I believe it is exactly located, yes, from the nations that are in these positions. Okay. It is clearly cultural behavior. Because in Northern Europe, if you take these North Europeans are not behaving these ways, okay? This is really a behavior of countries like, let's say, Greece. Also, let's say, we can say as well, let's say Asia as well. But yes, probably it has the same mentality. I don't know. With North Europeans, I do not think that they will do these things. They will analyze the things properly, analyzing, and then take the decisions, the proper decisions that they have to take for. Okay. But they will listen carefully. This is what they have to do, to listen carefully what each and every individual have to say, and do not take the stance emotionally, but what is actually is being happening. But this never bear happen. This you will not see that this happen. These things. So the problem will not be solved, and it is an existing problem that many does not see because nobody is speaking. They have left. That's all. Remains here. They feel powerful to use their, let's say, power they like to do. So what remains basically, it is the worst case scenario that you have here, because this manager here, this crew manager, will not tell it to anyone that things happening in the organization. He will keep smiling. He will keep, let's say, saying, "Okay, everything is fine," but in reality, this really reduce the overall performance of the company. And then you know what they're waiting. They're waiting for the Messiah to come and save them because they have really underperforming personnel accumulated through the time in these organizations. Really underperforming. So there is no motivation, there is no communication, there is no proper communication as human behavior. So basically, it is like a spare part through this, through that, open there, bringing there, call there, put a, let's say, a advertisement there, and yes, somebody will come there. And investors, yes, are losing millions. So that's why you see the development. It goes really, really, really difficult. And it gets worse by the time. Probably, yes, this is maybe, as I've seen it, maybe it is a cycle. Okay, maybe it is a cycle that has to be gone to, let's say, to the end, okay, to the continuous ending. Maybe it's like this, like the economies, they're growing, 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 growing. They came to a peak. This is our peak here. And then slowly, yes, they start to degrade here. Because since you have lost the knowledge, because you're building the knowledge, you're building, 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 but this generation or these people are left, okay, they're gone. Slowly, you have less and less knowledge to keep up, okay? And your composition of the people that are working there, the nationalities, the behavior, the cultural behavior, they are completely different, okay? Your mixture of people that are working are completely different, okay? And probably most of them, yes, does not have the intentions that these people had in that, let's say, organization to building it further, okay? Probably here it was focusing more to the company profits overall. So they have, let's say, passion, they have development, but this is more focused on personal leverage and power. Okay, so we have a shift. Yes, this can happen when you are living good, you are, let's say, see things, yes, how they can be different, how you can benefit much easier from them. And that's why I say that it is a kind of manipulation. That's why you see here you have hardworking people. They're really focused on, yes, bring something. But here I see that all the value goes to the personal wealth, growth, and that's why you see the companies are less and less performing. Going, yes, with mathematical, let's say, calculation to the bottom. I'm not against the followings. I'm not against that. But first of all, when you have something manufacturing or you have some, let's say, shipping and other things, for sure, first of all, you have to provide work to your, let's say, to your nation. Okay, because first of all, if you compare, let's say, the Greek shipping, a lot of vessels are foreign flags. So basically, let's see how much Greek, how many, let's say, Greek vessels are with foreign flags. Because despite, yes, so much, let's say, huge numbers, and look, despite so much good numbers of doing money, let's say, investing all the things, most of these companies are registered their vessel to another. Um, look, Greek interest was 4,212 vessels in 2024. Okay, and look how many vessels from that. Only 480 was with Greek flags. Okay, Greek flags. Only 480. And they told him, yes, we have the biggest fleet. We have, let's say, the biggest, all the things. Yes, we are earning. But how many from these 480 Greeks vessel are working, let's say, Greek people there? How many? Yes, the profits are up. The profits are huge. Every time they're reporting, let's say, huge profits, they're listing on Nasdaq, they're listing, let's say, on the Dow Jones, wherever you like, let's say, all the things. But how many people are working on these vessels? They're really, really small amount of people are working there. And some of the vessels, really, you have nil Greeks there with Greek flags. I have seen that. So what happened when I started, let's say, sailing in 2005? The regulation said that you need to have at least, let's say, 11 Greeks or 8. Then the number drops to 5, and now I believe it is 0. The regulations, simply because they was not able to cover the demand. But why this is happening? This is happening also from the management. When you are putting, let's say, crew managers that was working in the bar, or when you are putting your friend or your friends of your friends, your grandfather or grandmother, this is what actually happened to Greek shipping. Yes, the profits are there because you are a profitable business and there will be always demand to carry cargo, and this is where everybody focus, and also the companies are focused on that, only the profits. But how the profits are distributed and how they are interact with the development, this is a completely other story. It is completely other story. How from these profits you are able to build this and bringing back. How you are able to open more positions in your country where will be well paid, and it will contribute, let's say, to the local economy. How you will do that? Okay, this is the questions. But now we see a lot of reporting, millions and all the things here, profits for the companies. But these profits are not going for investment here. They're not going because you see the numbers of seafarers are reducing. And also the new job openings in the offices, let's say, or all the things that are related with that, it's not increasing. We do not see that. So it is an entire supply chain that really suffers from improper strategic directions, okay, and only focusing on the profits. Yes, the profits are great, but it's not the main, let's say, source of development. Okay, you have to have vision, you have to have ideas, you have to have many, many things in order to accomplish and create that vision that is required. Okay, It's not that simple. But the worst thing is that when you do not like really to work for that improvement, we do not like really to questioning of why the things are happening, that's why the things will never change in the direction that you are willing to do because you have not done anything about that. And moreover, you do not have a proper communication with your seafarers and with your, let's say, crew, with all the things. So basically, what is required from the people, and if you would like, let's say, to have your job, just to have your job, okay, on board the vessel, you have to don't talk about anything. So if you're talking, you're bad, okay, in nowadays. Because what is happening, it hurts them to listen the reality. It really hurts them. You know what one of the crew managers told me? That why are you doing that to us? And what I was doing, okay, I was actually asking for my repatriation because my contract was finished and I do not like to stay on the vessel. This is my, let's say, yes, by law, this is what they have to fulfill. And even they know the law, they saying these things in order to affect you emotionally. What is the reason about that? And you have, yes, these crew managers, the same crew managers sitting there, even the managers that you say that, yes, maybe they are loyal, but they are not taking proper decisions. So what they need people that will listen them carefully, that will not create any distractions. Yes, sir, this is what they need. And for sure, yes, they will keep you there, but you will say, yes, sir, yes, sir. That's why, yes, probably the Greeks was not able to say yes, sir. Their fight for, let's say, their laws and regulations. And this is the reason why you have, let's say, 40 working hours. Otherwise, you will have 80 working hours. And that's why the Greeks was displaced. Most of because yes, Greeks is like wolves with the wolves, something like that. It does not fit. And that's why you see, yes, most of the vessels, how many remains? 4,000 something. It is foreign crew. Foreign crew. So they do not demand. The food can be, let's say, worse and worse. So basically, the owner makes profit here from the food. He will not send you spare parts properly when required. Profits from there. They will, let's say, less wages. Wages. You will not have, let's say, standby bonuses. Profit again. And also, you will say yes, sir, for everything. Okay. So you will in the tanks, risk increasing, less motivation. Yes, because basically you say to everything yes. And again, profit for them. So this is basically how the profits are being created. Really, really easy. You will see how the profits are created. And the owner, yes, he's happy. He's happy to see profits. He's happy to see profits. And he will come to you and he will say to you, yes, good job, very good job. And you will be, let's say, wow, emotional. And the owner said to me, "Wow, I make that a very, very good job." Yes, and you will do, let's say, twice or third time more. But basically, he does not care about you. He care about the profits. He does not care about you because for you, for him, you are like a spare part. That's all. And for the entire organization, just replace, replace, replace. This is what has been created. Profits over real value. So their profits are going higher than the value. This is two different things. The value, it has a much higher potential, also creating profits, but to doing that in a great manner, also developing all the rest parts in the economy that is being connected. And this is, goes to the value. This is a just distinguish, it's a disconnection from the money itself. But here you have communities, you have real development, and you are focused to have truly motivate people because you have trust, you have transparency, real things, okay? Not just saying them, but real things. Here you do not have anything of that. You have only money. And yes, maybe with the money you're able to buy development. But what development? The vessels itself. Buying a vessel, it's not a development. Buying a vessel, okay? Because the vessel itself, it is a dead thing. You are not able to operate the vessel without people. So by saying, okay, you are bought, let's say, 10 vessels, you are investing, let's say, of 3 vessels or 5 vessels, as the most of the owners are seeing, let's say, yes, I bought, let's say, 5 vessels, or I bought, let's say, 10 vessels. So what about that? You do not have crew. You do not have crew for these vessels. That's all. From where you will find the crew and what image you will have about your vessels. You will have the real image of the vessel, or you have, let's say, something which is technically made or manipulated in order to see you that everything is fine. So all the things, yes, it is also another story which in today's video, yes, we will not discuss. We will not discuss about that. So let's see. Despite the connectivity, let's say, yes, we have a lot of internet on board. We have all the things. It's not true. Many of them does not have anything, or it is not working properly, or there is some restrictions and hours when you will use, let's say, the internet. Crew welfare, no, I don't see that one. Probably it has been recognized by, let's say, Maritime Labor Convention and all the things, but yes, putting a PlayStation in a vessel does not make it really welfare, okay? It is the whole atmosphere and the working environment that makes the welfare, okay? The behavior, the communication, and still there is a huge lag behind it, huge gaps. Because as I told you, in one company, yes, we have crew manager, which was not seafarer at all. He was, let's say, his grandfather, I don't know which son-in-law or whatever. Okay, it's crazy. Okay, it's crazy. And okay, while better training and simulations and standardizations, okay, we see still accidents happening. Why? Despite, let's say, we have better training, we have better simulations, better standardization, the accidents are still happening. So something is wrong. We have, let's say, sensors, we have monitoring and all the things. Yes, but I was in the vessel, which is, let's say, 1 year old, and we do not have any automatic valves. So everything should be done by, let's say, manual still in the era of AI. Better medical support, I cannot say that nothing has changed that. So most of, let's say, things that we are seeing now, it's basically said that has been improved, but in reality, not a lot of things have changed. I believe the work and the administration work of the people on board now have changed tremendously because they have to fill these forms, a lot of regulations and all the things. If you compare, let's say, with 2000s and 2005 when I started, you just had one fuel. You do not care about what fuel you will burning, let's say, on all the areas. Now you have to switch over, change over, putting the scrubber, make the entries about the scrubber. If your scrubber is not working, you have to hurry up, you have to call the office, you have to fill that email. I believe nowadays the emails just create more work because you're really accessible, and every, let's say, stupid from the office send his question to you, and you have, let's say, to answer it. Okay. And if you don't answer it, you will become, let's say, a bad person. Okay, they will directly put you on the wall uh, and say, "Ah, he was not good. He didn't answer my email and all the things." Yes, and you would like, let's say, to work and develop, let's say, the system with this attitude. It is not possible to develop these things since it is like a playground, and you see these things. Despite, let's say, the generations are growing and changing, you see that things happen from 50, 60 years old, 70 years old. So they do not reflect themselves even, or even the owners. Okay, when you're going to one company and you hear the owner shouting and screaming, what is, what are you thinking about that? What is the condition good, or it is, let's say, a red flag? Most probably it's a red flag. So I see as an expert in the industry, because I definitely can say after 20, more than 20 years in different vessels, different allocations, different experiences, I definitely can have an opinion about how the things are working and how they should be working. Okay. I understand, yes, that not all of the companies are able to build that because there are lack of expertise. They're looking this way. Okay. And most of the times, you know what, my dear friends, happening? You have a much better resume, you have much better experience, but they're afraid. They have fear of you coming to an organization and be better than them. And this fear keeps all the development back. So it does not work linear. If you are, let's say, successful, if you are clever, it does not work that you will have, let's say, achieve all the things and all the stages because they're afraid to get you on. And since the fear presented, the development of the company also stops. So probably the company will be able to jump to another level, to another level, to another level. But because you have here people that are afraid other people knowledge, the development never comes. So they're working as a barrier for the companies and for the development, which I have shown you, let's say, in the beginning of the video. And this also happened in my last, let's say, company, in the oil major. So because they're afraid your development, they're afraid because you're better than them, they put you, let's say, they fight against you. And this is, yes, the internal politics that are happening in the companies. They fight you with this way, spreading, let's say, false information, spreading false, misleading information, and yes, the development of the company never comes. So the company cannot grow as well. So it's not linear, everything. And that's why when you see, let's say, a share price of a company, behind is all that system that most of the people are not knowing when they invest their money. They're not knowing that there is internal conflicts are going. So probably yes, the shareholder price through the years are growing because the whole economies of the world are growing, but it's not representative for the real potential of the company that has. I don't know if they will able to find it. Probably not, and that's why they will never be able to develop in the such way which really deserves for the positions for the communities. As I told you, maybe it is a natural thing, the growth of the graph up, peaking and then going down. Okay, maybe there is something that we are not able to do anything. It is natural because some systems, yes, some systems are working this way, and we are not able to intervene about them because yes, that's it. That is it, or probably we do not have structured our, let's say, framework in order to prevent this downfall. This can be also the case if we have not taken in account all the things and we have not addressed them through the process and through the entire life of a company or an organization. Probably yes, we will never identify it. That's why building this here book with the courses, with the simulations, with let's say the videos, with the training that I have done here, the technical, the boiler advanced course, the purifier advanced course. This is the things that I'm always keen about. It's to address all the things that are related and plays a huge role. Because if you're leaving it unaddressed, at least for yourself, what it means, that means that you are learning not in a complete way, but with yourself, you can be transparent and transform. For the others, it will not take good for sure. And I have seen that many, many times. So you will be targeted for your transparency. You will be also, uh, let's say, some kind of suffocating in these organizations, even the most development organizations. So that's why they never reach the trust and the transparency internally in the organizations. And that's why the politics, the internal politics, are still playing a huge role in these organizations. And it's a cycle that never ends. Hopefully for us and hopefully for me, I have understand how these things are working. I have stopped to care about these things, and the only thing that I can do is to share them with you. That's all. Thank you very much. See you in the next live, which will be much more frequently. And have a great day. Bye bye.
Hazır mı? Şarkını hazır. Hazır.